Guided Visualization, Spiritual Avebury. This meditation takes you on a virtual visit to the sacred landscape around Avebury in Wiltshire, England. The village of Avebury is partially built within the remains of this massive outer stone circle, with the road north, the A4361, actually running through the circle, alongside the north and south inner stone circles. Even with all those more recent additions, there's still a magical atmosphere to this Neolithic site, partially because we're still free to wander amongst the stones and surrounding area, unlike the confines and restrictions experienced at the likes of Stonehenge. So, come with me to explore the wonders of the Avebury landscape virtually. It's my fervent hope that if you haven't done so already, you will then feel empowered to visit the real location in the future. As you hear the opening sound of the heartbeat on the shamanic drum, focus on your breathing slowly in the same rhythm. And as you do, picture yourself gradually locating there and rising slowly into the air above the scene on angel wings. Visualize you're looking down on this huge stone circle with a diameter of 0.5 kilometre. Many of the stones are missing, but you can still easily make out both the outer circle formation and the two inner circles. See the road snaking through the middle, as well as the various houses, even a public house around the northern half. Focus on the two inner circles, with the southern one a lot more complete. Notice people walking in the midst of the stones, or standing lost in silent meditation, with their backs pressed against the massive boulders. Feel the silent, sacred energy which emanates from these stones and from the whole environment around. The energy from the earth, mingled with the positive energy brought by the many, many visitors over the past hundreds of years. Focus on that energy. Originally, the southern circle had a tall obelisk in a central D formation of smaller stones, a phallic symbol to link with the feminine cove stones in the northern circle, evidently used in fertility ceremonies those many years ago. And if you look to the south of the main circle, beyond the two huge entrance stones in a slightly offset line, you may be aware of an avenue of stones, standing stones heading off into the distance. This was also a key ceremonial route. Follow this line of standing stones, and beyond the end, you'll find an area called the sanctuary. Nowadays, this circle is marked with concrete markers. Originally there were wooden posts, and probably a roofed structure at some point of its use, where the priests and celebrants would gather before processing to the stone circle. Just visualize the spectacle of that for a moment. Soar slightly higher now and look out over the wider area. To the west of the sanctuary, and almost directly south from Avebury, you'll see the long turf outline that is the West Kennet Long Barrow, where the bones of ancestors were interred for many years, again for use during those ceremonial occasions. Look to the north of the barrow. Can you detect the roughly conical man-made hill, which is Silbury Hill? This is thought by many to be an energy portal, and was gradually built up over many years from an original raised earth platform, built over the confluence of 3 streams. It's probable that this low platform, containing various depressions, was originally used in water purification ceremonies. Offerings would have been brought to this sacred fount from other venerated sources around the country. Pause for a moment and visualize the different types of ceremonies which must have gone on here in Neolithic times and beyond. Now, as you look down on the landscape, follow a line directly from the sanctuary and through Silbury Hill. You'll perhaps see a modern roundabout of 4 converging roads. That's the present-day Beckhampton roundabout. But look even further along that same imaginary line, and you'll see a long stand of tall trees looking like a natural cathedral. This is called Knoll Down, and there are some wonderful spiral energy lines in the earth inside this tree cathedral. It's well worth the focus of your attention. The sanctuary and Knoll Down are the 2 southern points of an energetic equilateral triangle, which you may be able to visualize. This triangle has its centre at Avebury Church, which is positioned to the immediate west of the outer circle. This churchyard area is the location of a very ancient pagan site. The third northern point of this triangle is in an area to the north of a little hamlet, which you might be able to see. It's actually called Winterbourne Monkton. A winterbourne means a stream or river that's active during the wetter winter seasons of the year. There are signs that there might have been standing stones at this point, and also settlements during some of the major ceremonies to accommodate the many visitors who would have come from as far away as Orkney in Britain and from many areas of what is now Europe. If you look down the line from our northern point towards Knoll Down again, you may be able to see several large tumuli that mark a more permanent settlement at Windmill Hill. The bones of many cattle have been found there, and it's thought that this was the site of great feasting, a Neolithic camp, linking with the sacred ceremonies which happened regularly at the circle complex. Pause for a moment and visualize the activities, crowds of people, the priests conducting the ceremonies, and the sheer energy, that magical energy, generated by all this spiritual excitement and interaction. Focus, think about, feel that heightened energy. And how did these people make their way from all the quarters of the compass to arrive at the Avebury site? Look to the east of the imaginary line between Winterburn Monkton and the sanctuary, which is the eastern side of the equilateral triangle. Can you see a track? That's the ancient ridgeway running north to south, which also crosses with an east-west track, which is now the modern-day road, but was originally another track skirting round Silbury Hill. These were the highways of the time, and there are still signs of standing stones, tumuli, and other indications of settlements and areas which were used for ceremonies. The Avebury Down area between the Ridgeway and the Circle complex provided a wonderful vantage point for all those people who had travelled to watch the ceremonies rather than participate directly with the priests, which was really an honour for the few. Imagine the crowd sitting on the banks watching. So you've been viewing the sacred landscape directly around the main Avebury Stone Circle. From your high vantage point, look out further to the downland stretching out on all sides, to towns like Marlborough, with its own Silbury Hill type mound in the grounds of the college. Cherhill to the west, with its Oldbury Hill fort and earthworks. Alton Barnes to the south, with the many Pewsey Vale white horses cut into the hillsides, as well as ancient tumuli such as Adam's grave. The whole area for many kilometres around is charged with spiritual energy. It is truly a magical place. Visualize this area now as best you can. Immerse yourself in all these signs of ancient belief and ceremony. Focus. Try to imagine some of the sheer feeling, emotion, and spiritual connection and beliefs which must have charged the atmosphere during these many ceremonies. Focus. Draw that energy into your heart. And now, as you bring your vantage point down to ground level again, focus once more on your breathing and gradually come back to your normal self. Breathing in and out in time with the natural pulse of the earth. Draw that energy charge into your very being for use towards the greater good. And if this visualization has succeeded, even in a small way, to convey some of the magic which exists around Avebury, please consider the possibility of visiting the area and really experiencing some of the magic for yourself. It's really worth the trip. I'm Chris Sangster, and it's been an honour to be your guide for this visualization of the wonderful landscape around the Avebury spiritual complex. It's truly close to my heart. Please go there at least once in your life. Thank you.